what you guys have been waiting for. We have the semifinals now, and on top of that, we have BBG back at it in the semifinals. BBG needs no introduction. Back in the semifinals is an awesome, awesome thing. This would give him, if he is able to take home this Duels of Runeterra, a second Duels of Runeterra victory here, joining a few other people that have been able to win too, alongside the likes of Fresh Lobster. Winding God, though, still the only one with 3 wins. So that is going to be something I imagine BBG tries to go after there. But until we actually see him win this tournament, that ain't happening. So he's going to have to take down Papichema first. Let's go ahead and get into game 1 and see if BBG can do it. Up for everybody, we're going to go ahead and bring you on over to BBG and Papichema. And this is, again, for the semifinals of Duels of Runeterra 16. I believe we are currently on game 1 still. So we will be able to catch most of this series from the looks of it.
And now I gotta pull up deck list again. These guys just rapid firing off matches.
I will say we've been able to pick up most of the games in the top cut.
Yeah, the one concern that I had for Europe this morning was going into the day, I think they had 2 streamers. And none of them made Top Cut.
Wait, so did they not stream Top Cut?
They ended up getting a couple people to stream Discord, but they almost just didn't have a Top
Cut
at all or no? On cam.
Okay, there we go. That's what matters.
Yeah.
That's what matters. Feels bad, man. Anybody, if you can stream, try to stream. We appreciate it very much. And looks like, so what do we have here? Papichema, we have the TF Swain that we've been seeing basically all day. He's the only lone TF Swain player, I should say, in the top cut, which is confirmed now. We are not guessing that. That is 100% confirmed. So interesting to see TF Swain so much less represented than in previous tournaments. And BBG playing good old Zed Lee Sin, which was the more popular version of Lee Sin throughout the day today. Diana Lee Sin not really seeing too much play, and then the Celestial or Mono Lee Sin version not really seeing much play either. So let's see. We are going to go ahead and send through the attack with this buffed up Eye of the Dragon. Looks like BBG actually doesn't have his cam on, which I can't remember the last time I've seen a BBG stream without his cam.
He just had to hop right back in. He's like, I don't have time to set everything up.
I was just going to say that.
He was like in the shower, got a text like, hey, you're back in the game.
Oh, man.
Either that or he got kicked out of the hotel room because he lost, and now he's like at a McDonald's on the Wi-Fi like, no, I can win my way back into my hotel room. So we are going to have Hush down onto this. Falling pretty low on life here, but going to be able to block out the Dragonling, and that's going to feel pretty good. If there's no response out of Papa to kill it, and there is not, just going to go back up to 12, going to heal up this Eye of the Dragon, get another Dragonling for the following turn, as well as take it out of flock range. Swain is a pretty effective blocker for the Zed, but still not something to contest this Eye. And this pillaring up on the Eye, this isn't even Zenith bladed yet. This was just a Mentor of the Stones and all 3 gems pumped into it. Oh, and there we go. There's the Swain level off the conch.
Wow. See, there we go. I called this earlier on in the day. This is why we play the crab. This is why we play the Crusty Crab. It levels up Swain, if anything. All right. So, but we do still have the attack token on the side of BBG. So we'll see what he's able to do with it here. If we're able to possibly buff up this Zed with a Zenith Blade, feels good. We also have Mentor of the Stones that we can just attack with. We can Zenith Blade and Mentor this turn and still have mana for this Nopify. But it looks like we are going to start with the Guiding Touch. That does draw us a Hush. And now outside of the Mentor and Zenith plus Nopify. So we'll see how BBG is going to navigate the remainder of this turn.
You can't attack with the Zed. You don't have quite enough attack on the... I mean, you could Zenith Blade this Eye of the Dragon if you want to contest the Swain, but... Just set it up to get stunned.
And all right. No, go. Maybe not.
An end round does seem a little bit weird, but if your opponent is passing and offering up not playing Leviathan, sometimes you're just so happy to see that you take the pass.
Yeah, I mean, you might have to, honestly. I do understand not going for the Mentor and Zenith this turn, just because even if you buffed up your Zed as much as you could, it's not going to be able to get an attack through onto this Swain, and it will die, which is kind of unfortunate. But now this is great. I mean, you got your Mentor, the stones down. I think it's 100% end turn. You get your opponent to burn some mana. You don't necessarily have to attack. I mean, looks like we're really pushing it, getting this goat down too. I gotta imagine Papichema has something now, or is our hand really this bogged down?
It's only 3 cards. And, you know, it is our off turn. We only have 1 mana, so we can't push damage at face for something like a Riptide Rex.
All right, yeah, no. Wow, okay, so maybe that tells me there might be like 2 Riptide in Papichema's hand.
There's either nothing or there's some kind of keg generation that we're trying to set up for that we want to get down post-combat. And I think BBG has a read on some kind of keg generator. Otherwise, you at least would go in with that Eye of the Dragon. Or not the Eye of the Dragon, rather, the Dragonling itself. But that was a Leviathan that came all the way from the right. So Papa did have that available on the previous turn, but just deciding, you know what, it's fine. I can get it down on my attack turn. Resonating Strike still was a possibility, or at least for most of the turn. I think eventually... even Resonating Strike without the...
Words.
Oh, man. Resonating Strike.
Sonic
What's
Wave.
the other card name?
I always mix up the
Sonic
two. Like,
Wave? Yeah, okay.
I have them down, and then I'll say one time, and I completely forget the other for some reason. I have no idea why.
What I was trying to get at was that with Resonating Strike, even without the Sonic Wave that you didn't have the mana for, you still actually kill the Leviathan with the Mentor of the Stones and the Eye of the Dragon. So I think that's what he was waiting on, just being hyper respectful of that and understanding that, you know, it doesn't really matter if I stun the units on your turn, or on my turn rather. It might have given him a push for lethal, but losing the Leviathan apparently would have lost him the game, so he didn't want to risk it. And now we are just going to get a stun straight away onto this Lee Sin. And that was a top-decked answer for the top-decked Lee Sin. And that is probably just going to do it.
That's a pretty timely stun onto this Lee Sin, unfortunately for BBG. And that means that at the beginning of the turn, I mean, this Leviathan is just going to keep coming down, stunning everything. And at the end of the day, like, we always talk about how Infinite Mind Splitter has been a good tech choice against Lee Sin. And I hate to say it, because God only knows we've seen plenty of this TF Swain deck. Leviathan and Swain is just as good of a combo to stun Lee Sin every single turn. Not only that, you get stuns on multiple units. So it does feel kind of bad that we're getting this. This is going to be stunned every turn. And Hush doesn't do anything either, because it's a round start effect. You can't Hush the Leviathan. You're never going to get this Lee Sin back to normal, ever. It's just not going to happen. No.
And you probably die on the next turn. We Zenith bladed the Dragonling, which honestly I think is the first time I've ever seen that play. He is definitely in desperation mode, but at least can get a 5-life swing. But no, he can't, because there is played the one all the way from the left, said, you know what, I top decked this, but he actually had another one. And now, I mean, Hush onto the Lee Sin doesn't do anything. It loses its ability to kick. It also loses, I mean, you can give it back the Challenger.
Yeah, we have...
So we are going to kill the Leviathan, actually, unless there is an answer of Papichema. The Lee Sin is vulnerable for the turn, so any kind of removal that Poppy has, we can get down on this. And he does have the Swain's Ravenous Flock, so the Lee Sin is going to die here.
You just did it. We went all cast without doing that, and you did it.
Oh, man.
You called him Poppy.
I call him Poppy.
We went the entire cast without doing it, and you're the one that ripped the Poppy. Oh, man. Look it. The tables are turned.
Poppy as in... Yeah, but I have an ironclad defense. Poppy is in the League of Legends champion.
Oh, look at you. Yeah.
You know, the solid defense that he has played, the immobility that he has locked down of his opponent reminds me of the Yordle wielding or hammer wielding Yordle. Man, could you imagine if she had a Yordle slingshot? That'd be sick. But we are going to lose the Lee Sin for our troubles. We do still have this big eye. We do still have this Zed. We are still in the game.
Yeah, that was big. That was actually good on the part of BBG. Hushing the Lee Sin. So I understood that hushing the Lee Sin would kind of cleanse it, get rid of the stun, allow Lee Sin to attack. But I wasn't thinking that you could re-trigger the challenger because it's basically resetting the card, I guess. I don't know. That was weird. Oh, sorry. He used the resonating strike.
Used the resonating strike.
I was gonna say if it's silent.
Yeah. It wasn't like Lee Sin just gets around Hush in some weird backwards way. No, he actually just played a card to give it challenger.
This doesn't make sense.
But it does keep you in the game, but it was a lot of resources committed. You used your Hush, you used your resonating strike, you used your Lee Sin, even your mentor is gone, and your opponent does still have a big board. Now we do get triple gem down onto the Zed to make it contest the Swain, which is not nothing. It is an avenue back into the game for BBG. So it's not like he committed all of his resources to staying in this one, and does have 2 Nopify. He can get off an effective block with the Zed here because he'll heal it back to full. Does have the 2 counter spells for any kind of removal that Papa has. And I think he's in still a questionable position. I think that BBG has to go full on blocks here or risk a Riptide Rex.
Yeah, and there's 2 Nopify as well to prevent exactly what's happening right now. I mean, we're not going to get any spells to come through from Papichema that are actually going to hit. So these Nopifies are going to come in big. And now BBG is good to just sit pretty pass and then go into what looks like you said, an open attack into 3 gems onto this Zed to contest this Swain. And that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, but if Papichema has Riptide Rex and wants to play it, BBG can't stop it. You have 5 attackers.
Unless Papichema does... All right, if Papichema is only going in with 3 attackers or just represented only 3 attackers, that tells me that he doesn't have a Riptide. Or at least that's how I would read it, because you're not trying to force that damage through.
The Death's Hand makes me think Riptide, or maybe we were just trying to stun this Eye of the Dragon so that we could get in a more comfortable Swain attack. I think if we had Riptide, it would kind of just be like snap attack with everything, because even if you wanted to use... it just doesn't attack at all. And now we are going to see the 3 gems come out so that we do have something to contest the Swain. We can actually start to attack with this Zed.
Wow, so this is going to be a giant attack coming through here by BBG. We'll see if this is going to swing the game in his favor now that we have a pretty nice size Zed on board. Will not level the Zed this turn, though, as we are only going to get at least that 1 strike through with the Overwhelm. But good thing about having Zed with Overwhelm is that you do guarantee yourself a leveled Zed after at least 2 attacks with it.
That does seem a long ways away, though, and Papichema definitely has the better top decks in this scenario. This is one of those times where... we talk about, okay, you can survive and struggle all you want, but you are a combo deck, and what that means is if you draw Lee Sin without additional combo pieces, it doesn't mean anything. You literally can't activate a Lee Sin here unless your opponent starts to do something in a second deny. You already weren't really worried about the things that your opponent was going to play. The second deny really doesn't add much value to BBG's hand. You still do not have an answer for this Leviathan that comes at the perfect time, making it so that you will be stunned out on on your next attack turn, and this Zed just not going to level, not going to be enough. And we don't get a Dragonling anymore. Everything is stunned out now. You have no attacks. Lee Sin here is just insult to injury. Man, I'm so good at calling top decks. That still counts as a caster blessing BBG's Omiya McChicken, even though you can't activate this unless your opponent does something. Which, honestly, not out of the question. Papichema might try to proactively stun this Lee Sin and get hard punished for it.
Oh, there is finally a Riptide Rex.
That is big, because deny onto Riptide targets does activate the Lee Sin for the turn. I don't think it's enough, though. You're only going to kick 1 unit back to the hand. You don't have lethal because you don't have the Zenith Blade. You don't have any attack activators to get this high enough. You almost had a chance back into this game.
You really gotta, and BBG really has to think about. It's always hard figuring out which cannon barrage is targeting what. So we'll see what the deny actually ends up going on here. Looks like, all right, we are gonna deny one of the ones. It looks like that's going on to Lee Sin. Is that right?
I think there's only one going on.
No, because when he throws out the deny and hovers, it's still taking 2 damage onto the Lee Sin, I think.
Yeah, wasn't that the...
it was 2 targets, because he denied another target to it, so...
Oh, okay.
So basically, I think
so
that just kind of plays
tell.
around Death's Hand, if there was a Death's Hand. Oh, yeah.
But that still stuns the Lee Sin, because that's how
Never
Riptide
mind.
Rex works.
So close, but yet so far. And that's going to do it. Yeah, BBG sending up the Shen emote. Going to fall behind one game now. Papichema going up 1-0 versus BBG. Just an update as well. Guardia and Zaramis still playing in the top 8. So Storm, who we just saw take down Sujirkan, is still waiting to see who the winner of that game will be. And I do think they're still in game 1 now. So actually, if we're lucky, we could probably see all of BBG and Papichema, and by the time this game is done, we'll be able to see the other top 4 game in Zaramis and Storm in its entirety.
It's not out of the question. Who did Papichema take out on the way
Papichema.
Here? It was Zinc and Fly. So he did take out a Lee Sin player. Granted, you know, we all know what happened there. We're not going to bring up old stuff, but his Lee Sin matchup didn't look phenomenal.
You're talking about Papichema's Lee Sin matchup?
Papichema. He lost game number 1 both times around. You know, so the side deck did work out a little bit better. But, you know, theoretically should have lost to Zinc in game number 2. I don't know if you get that kind of continuous string of luck 4 times in a row, because his side deck is not the most effective. It doesn't seem like it's super targeted at the Lee Sin. You do get some more aggro tools, but unless you not even necessarily high roll an aggro hand, but just find a very aggressive opener, that does feel like sort of the only avenue that you have towards this. And that is a very linear, very out of your control kind of strategy that I don't think is consistent enough to beat Zinc and then come back around.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, one of the reasons why we really haven't seen TF Swain represented much at all, if at all, really, besides Papichema in the tournament, is it generally, I don't think, has a great matchup versus Lee Sin. It can win if it draws all of the removal that it needs to specifically, you know, get rid of the Zed or the Lee Sin early on in the game. But there's just too many answers typically on the side of Lee Sin. You know, you have the Bastion, you have Deny, you have you know, Nopify in this case. Did we catch a BBG is getting 3 Nopify in this deck this time around, or are we still not doing that?
I think he did put it in. I definitely saw him with the Nopifies on the screen, and I don't know if he took them out or put them in. He doesn't main deck them actually, so no, he does main deck them. Did he take them out?
He literally took them out last time we
matchup?
saw him. But did he play? He played Papichema in Swiss, right?
Yeah, I think. And then what, did he die with like 2 Deny in hand because it was too much mana?
Surprised. If we honestly see him with no Nopify again in this game, I really got to figure out. I got to ask him why he's opting to not go with Nopify in this TF Swain matchup, because it does seem like it's just a better option than Deny. Sure, Deny can, you know, deny skills like the TF skills and Riptide barrages, but I gotta think Nopify is generally the better card. And it looks like we are still waiting for Papichema here to queue up the side decked version of the deck. So we'll give it a couple more minutes while we wait on that, and I'm gonna pull up real quick Zaramis' game. Well, Zaramis' game.
What are you going to pull up?
Not for... I'm not going to put it on screen for everybody. Yeah, I'm going to take a peek.
You just want to take a little peek?
So you guys know what's up. It does look like we're on turn 7 in a game, which strikes me as odd. If Smash GG is right and they're on 24 minutes, I can't imagine only being on turn 7 after 24 minutes, right? That seems...
That does seem pretty slow.
So it might be game 2. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on it. But it does look like Guardia is very much in the lead right now with this War Mother's deck versus the Lee Sin deck of Zaramis. And here we go. We are starting game 2 though with BBG and Papichema. Looks like we have the Eye of the Dragon early on in the hand. And okay, here we go. 3 Nopify and 3
kept
denies.
The Nopifies.
So, okay, very different decision than the first time around.
Yeah, it did take out the Bastion this time around.
Bastion completely out of there. Okay. I guess it's kind of easier for TF Swain to pop a Bastion, right? Whereas you just want to go ahead and deny the actual spell itself rather than put a spell shield on something. So that does make sense.
Well, so the other sort of change that he did is he put in 3 health potion, because one of the biggest tools that Papichema is going to have to actually kill some of these units once they get the Zenith Blade on them, you got Ravenous Flock, you got Scorched Earth for the execute. Health Potion denies that, as well as the only way that we saw Papichema having a chance in this matchup was trying to out-aggro his opponent. And BBG, with this double Eye of the Dragon opener, gonna feel pretty good about his
double
chances.
Eye of the Dragon, always really, really good with this Lee Sin deck. You're going to get those consistent Dragonlings out to just stall out the game and get towards that late game where you get that Lee Sin, you get that buffed up Zed to overwhelm the opponent. And we'll see if BBG is able to use these Eye of the Dragons to his advantage early on here. Do have the Krusty Codger, good old Krusty Krab coming out early. No Swain level with this one.
It is going to be a while before the Dragonlings start to come online, but it does give you the opportunity to just eat a lot of damage in the meantime, because if I remember correctly, Papichema not playing any copies of Noxian Fervor, which does mean that he has no kill spell for this Dragonling available unless he strings together a Death's Hand and a Make It Rain.
Looks like... And, I mean, this is going to be... Yeah, this is going to be rough for Papichema to even try to remove this at all. It's always interesting how often we actually see, especially in these matchups when you're staring down more of an aggressive start from your opponent, it's so common to see a Zenith Blade onto something like an Eye of the Dragon, and wow, okay, that kind of hurts.
It hurts a little bit, but not a lot, because you do still get the extra Zenith Blade.
Now the Culling Strike is off the at least one of them anyways is off the table, so if you do... Yeah, exactly.
And
so
there is only
actually
two of
good
them.
to, I think, get a Culling Strike out onto an Eye of the Dragon.
It does really make me wonder if there is another one in Papichema's hands, just because, you know, you are going into the Lee Sin turn. BBG, you know, gonna straight pass up. Says, you know what, if you have the Culling Strike, I'm not playing I'm not playing with that. I do have a Resonating Strike, so I will be able to get my Lee Sin back up to 5 attack if I wait until the next turn.
All right, the score did not update for Guardia and Zeramis, so I'm assuming that might have been game 2, in which case they'd be 1-1, but Guardia did win that last game. So it's either 1-0 Guardia or 1-1 right now.
And so we see the Make It Rain. Almost feels like it's just done to pass.
Yeah, you might be right. We could even just, again, do the Zenith Blade onto this Eye of the Dragon here. I don't know if you want to waste that on it, but... Looks.
Yeah, I mean, you do still have one left, so.
Yeah, it just always feels bad. I feel like you always want to have a couple Zenith Blades to go ahead and. Oh wow, are we gonna do? Yeah,
this is why we put the health potions in the deck.
Yeah, and health potion, a fantastic counter to something like Ravenous Flock, and BBG recognizing, I guess, the importance of buffing up this Eye of the Dragon. I mean, it's a 2/5 now. It trades with everything very nicely on the field. Obviously can't block the elusive Zap Spray Fin that looks like it's coming in for an attack right now. But overall, I do like BBG's position. We could even potentially get a Lee Sin down. Is there anything for 5 mana that BBG's worried about that Nopify can't stop? Oh, wow. Okay, we just got 2 passes. All right.
I mean, like, it'd have to be 2 copies of the same card, either like double Make It Rain and Flock, or double Flock and Make It Rain, kind of depending on how the ordering of things actually ended up playing out. But it is a lot safer to just get it down now. It's not like you were doing a whole lot with the mana that you would have saved by playing the Lee Sin last turn, so this safer line definitely feels correct.
Yeah, and this is it's not bad. I mean, we do get good old Betty Croker down, getting some additional draw, and I really love the addition of this card in the deck. Not only does it go towards the Swain level up, but also draws you additional cards to just dig a little bit faster for some of those tools that can win you the game, like Leviathan, Riptide Rex, Swain. So we'll see if Papichema gets any help with these new draws. But in the meantime, curious to see if BBG decides to go in for an attack, right? I mean, yeah.
It looks like he is.
Wow. Okay, yeah, we're going to get the barrier, we're going to get the challenger, and we're also going to get the challenger onto the Eye of the Dragon, and this is really good. This is some great trades on the side of BBG, and okay. Yeah.
Just really wants to get that Zap Spray Fin off the field. That is the one thing that'll continuously add up. Death's Lotus,
wow,
so those do come in against the Twisted Fate, or Twisted Fate, the Lee Sin deck rather, but there is still a Guiding Touch on the side of BBG, so that is going to counteract anything that Papichema does. But this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier. If you throw out an Execute effect here, and then BBG responds with the heal, you can throw another damaging spell on the stack for the Lee Sin, and there's nothing that they're going to be able to do about that. Death's Hand isn't it.
Yeah, this is going to go ahead and get countered by...
I think this
Ooh.
eats the Notify rather than the Guiding Touch.
I don't know. I feel like you want to save the Notify for, in case your opponent has something else, no?
I mean,
No,
they've
I
only
mean,
got two
obviously
mana.
not this turn, but just for the
Ravenous
future.
Flock is... Oh, yeah. Well, my concern was that, yeah, Ravenous Flock now kills the Lee Sin, whereas if we had Notified, I mean, I guess we're still dying to it. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. I guess it's probably mostly irrelevant. And as we pick up another Lee Sin pretty immediately, Swain gonna come down leveled even. That does mean we're gonna have to throw a blocker under the bus. But even if we get the Lee Sin or the Zed down, if there is something like another Death Sand, then it is gonna stun out the unit. It won't kill the entire board, depending on what it is, but things not feeling great for BBG at the moment. He does have the Zenith Blade for the Lee Sin. The Lee Sin probably going to survive the turn, but we even just see the pass out of Papichema. That is, I think I would love to attack with this Swain here.
Yeah.
We do know that there's a Pale Cascade, so, could Pale Cascade the Dragonling. I guess that's what Poppy's going to play around. And now, I mean, we have the Lee Sin. We have the Zenith Blade. It doesn't get a whole lot bigger than that, but it is going to be able to start to contest this Swain. We still have a Will of Ionia for any Leviathans that come down. It's going to be really difficult for Poppy to develop that Swain Leviathan combo, and we're going to see a response out of him here. Is this going to be the Culling Strike?
And it looks like it. I mean, usually we're seeing Culling Strikes come in huge from Papichema, and if you can't play it after this, obviously, and that would prompt a Pale Cascade if it does come out, which is really nice. It's basically turning a Pale Cascade into an absolutely free deny or free Notify. But nope, not going to get that out, which means, I mean, essentially all of the Culling Strikes are dead now. Like, as long as you have Pale Cascade and Notify, not going to work. Ooh, this feels bad. Does Pale Cascade would not change this? No. Okay, never mind. And actually,
no, that doesn't, yeah. It goes by attack, then health, then cost.
Okay,
so
all right, yeah. So I just wanted to... All right, so it looks like we could still go ahead and summon the Zed then. Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, we can't attack with the Zed. The Pale Cascade doesn't get it into range of the Swain.
Yeah, so now on the bright side for BBG, if we do see something like a Leviathan come down from Papichema, we do have the Will of Ionia to at least delay it for a turn. Don't know if that's going to be enough.
The one thing that you were worried about early on in the game, though, is that BBG's out of Zenith Blades. If this Lee Sin dies, he's going to have a really big uphill battle actually
100%.
coming back into
And then you go, well, what about Zed? Well, now you don't have the Zenith Blade for the Zed either, so it's the same situation, right? And
all right, Scorched Earth gets the Notify.
We do still have the Pale Cascade if something else comes out.
And it looks like that's going to level the Lee Sin. Yep, there he goes.
All right, so I guess we're heading into this next turn where we might be able to see BBG take the game, but it's going to be close. Actually, I don't know if he can get the Lee Sin up to 10. He only has 7 right now that he can get it up to. Yep, there's a Leviathan.
Yeah, and that's going to demand a Will of Ionia.
And this is unfortunate. So we pretty much need 5, 6, 7. Actually, oh, wow. Wait, is this... Yeah, is this Flock going to come out onto the Lee Sin? And is there a... Yeah, that's a
help.
Wow, talk about a 1-mana burst speed double deny. Wow.
That does not feel good on the side of Papichema, who
wait.
does have an
2 mana.
answer.
Wait, doesn't matter. Wait, is he going to make it rain for the RNG?
Make it rain? Make it rain? Show me that make it rain Papichema, and it misses.
Yeah.
That was a pretty low percentage play to work out. I think on average, it is going to miss the Lee Sin, but I mean, even if it hit the Lee Sin, we have the Pale Cascade to give it barrier. So yeah, ultimately nothing matters there.
So this is going to be tough though, because BBG, I mean, he could not quite close out the game on this next turn, right? So even, I don't think there's a single draw in his deck that could actually, or deep med into 2. Okay, yes. All right. Oh, wait. Oh, wow. He's 2 off. Oh, wait. No, he can just open attack.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, he has so many attackers that I'm pretty sure he just has
He can
lethal
attack
with this double
everything
Pale
but
Cascade.
the 1/2 Eye of the Dragon, and I think he's good.
Yeah. I do not think that there's anything that Papichema is going to be able to have to stop this. And yeah, gets the Pale Cascade into the Pale Cascade. And this should just be BBG picking this one up 2-2-0.
Yeah, wow. This is all right, I gotta say, these health potions in the side deck, man. Woo! They do work against TF Swain. They make this like one-sided. Because then the biggest thing with Lee Sin is that you are trying to usually get it so that there's damage on the Lee Sin, so you can use something like Scorched Earth or Guillotine or just multiple Ravenous Flocks. And when you have health potion, that ain't happening anytime soon. So Papichema did win game 1, so that means
I think we've seen Papichema play so many Lee Sin players that it's all, molding together for me. I thought that was a 2-0. That's my bad.
And I'm actually, so Zaramis did go ahead and win versus Guardia. So I'm actually going to reach out to Zaramis, see if we can have him hold up here so we can grab the entirety of the other top 4 match before the finals. So yeah, we are going to get, for the other match in the top 4, it's going to be Storm versus Zaramis. And they're going to be playing the winner of whoever wins here, BBG versus Papichema. So we could see a Zaramis BBG finals. That'd be pretty lit. Both great players here. Papichema pretty new to the scene, as well as Storm. So we could also get 2 entirely new players to the Duels of Runeterra scene to the finals here. And all right, 2 Lee Sin to start off with BBG. Feels good. The hand isn't necessarily the greatest hand on the planet, but never feels bad to have multiple Lee Sin in hand. Usually, you're going to be in an okay spot as long as you're able to get him to stick to the field or something like a Zed. But we do have the just-in-time GOAT on turn 2, so we should be able to see the GOAT come down to at least suck up a blocker here. Gonna feel bad trading it with something, either the Croaker or the Dreadway deckhand. I was just gonna say, wait, are we gonna have the discussion as to what's the correct block here?
Oh my gosh. No, we're not, because there's no healing in the deck for Pop. There's no nab either to steal the health potion.
Oh man, Jesus.
Does find the Zed on time as well, but I mean, you can't play that into a keg with a Make It Rain mana available when you are just 1 shy of the Nopify.
And all right, Dreadway deckhand gonna do some more chip damage. Get the 2 damage there coming in. And Zed looking to be next. And again, drawing the Zed. I feel like on turn 4, this happens a lot too. And I've seen BBG do this almost every time. And it's probably the right choice. Playing the Zed first to kind of bait out any removal your opponent might have. Well, go ahead. Kill my Zed. See if I care. Because I'd prefer to keep my Lee Sin once it hits the field. What'd you do?
I did it. I cracked the Lee Sin puzzle. I'll tell you about it later.
Wait, what? What is? It's like you solve like you summon Exodia or something. You solve the Millennium puzzle.
I did, but I don't want to reveal it to you yet. So we're gonna see the Nopify onto the Death's Hand. This does still open up the potential to get the Keg out of the way for a Lee Sin to come down a little bit safer later on. But as you had mentioned, BBG's hand not playing super proactively into a Lee. I mean, we have seen, we have the gem, we have the guiding touch, but it would leave you open to, just kind of a Make It Rain coming down, popping. That's very, salvage. Okay, I thought it was another spell coming out to kill the Zed like a Make It Rain, but not going to be the case.
And we are going to get Zaramis' full match too. So this is going to be pretty nice. We got basically all of the semifinals, 100%.
This is probably the longest I've ever seen a keg live.
Whoa. You've never played an Unyielding Spirit on a keg? Are you kidding me?
In what world do you think I did that?
I remember when Unyielding and kegs first came out. I was so obsessed with that combo. I thought it was great. It's like, oh, hey, we can just have, 8 kegs eventually on field and just everything does 8+ damage. Like, this is great. I gotta say, it feels like BBG is very much in control here of this game. Not really worried about too much aggression on the side of Papichema. And now able to get this Lee Sin down seemingly pretty safely. We don't have much to worry about here. We even have the health potion if damage does come down to the Lee Sin. as opposed to something like Culling Strike. Culling Strike, this does actually just play right into a Culling Strike. If they're, okay, it would have just been played there, right?
Well, you have the
actually, okay.
Sonic Wave, so
I was gonna say Zenith Blade, but
actually
okay, yeah,
fine.
the Resonating Strike works as well. So, yep. So he was just safe on all accounts, and you know, it must feel bad on the side of Papichema too, or any TF Swain player going up against Lee Sin, especially when you know your opponent's side's health potions against you. You feel like every card you play is just not gonna work no matter what. So it's like, do you bother playing the cards? But you have to try to get rid of the Lee Sin no matter how many times it's not gonna work.
It's awkward because in situations where we talk about playing around deny with ruination and things like that, there's no option to do that. Eventually, you know, you're just going to have to play something that's on par with the ruination for your opponent to deny you. In situations like this, if you don't try to kill the Lee Sin, the health potions don't get nearly as much value, whereas in the ruination example, like, deny is still going to get value at some point in the game. But you actually do have the opportunity to, I think, deny a little bit of the value, or try to aggress your opponent down enough that they feel they're forced to use the health potions on face. It doesn't really work out how you want it to in this game because health potion is burst speed and you don't have anything like a warning shot. They can wait until the last possible second to commit this 1 mana, and by then it's almost certainly too late to try and kill a Lee Sin.
Wow. And yeah, already speaking of Lee Sin, got the Overwhelm on the Lee Sin, got all those nice attributes there. Challenger, Overwhelm, the trigger symbol as well, almost leveled up. Looks like we're about halfway to the level up. This will get us even further. And hey, why not add a little bit more attack and health to our glorious Lee Sin on the field? And yeah, this is, man, this Lee Sin deck, man, every time. And we've seen this everywhere today. This deck is so damn strong. And seeing it be able to pretty handedly take down what was essentially, and still is, one of the best, but what was the best deck for such a long time in TF Swain is absolutely insane how good of a job this deck does. All right, and it looks like Papichema just kind of thinking about the options here. What we have, really wish I could see. I wish we had caster vision on Papichema's hand right now. Unfortunately, do not. If BBG and Zeramis both make it to the finals, we'll have 2 hands, which will be pretty nice. So we'll see if that does happen. But we're going to get the blue card for now from the Twisted Fate. And we'll see if Papichema is able to dig a little bit here. A leveled up Twisted Fate might do the job. There isn't really any hardcore removal on the side of BBG, but having the 3 Will of Ionia in the deck can very much prolong the Twisted Fate level. Let's wait a few turns, return it to hand. Let's wait a few more turns, return it to hand. So we'll see if that's kind of what's going to happen here over the next couple of turns, or how quickly Papichema can try to level this TF.
And I think we had previously mentioned you don't feel like you're ever actually getting off a TF level unless you find that pick a card. And that's a pretty big commitment. I think we saw players yesterday kind of going for that. It didn't work out. Then they ended up discarding, I think it was like a Riptide Rex and a Captain Farron. So just like losing out on some pretty big resources by going for that. And we're actually going to see the Resonating Strike committed rather than...
This
is why I don't really understand Papichema not running Noxian Fervor, because that is one of the things that can actually save you from this Lee Sin combo, is killing your own unit in response.
Even gets the other Resonating Strike. Are we just... Do we really want to go outside of deniement? Like, what are we not worried? Are we just not worried about anything? That's. I mean,
what are we worried about? The problem is, in order to actually utilize execute effects, you have to put them all on this. Like, you have to put them all on the same stack. But because this is not a game where you can target the Lee Sin with an execute ability and then damage it later.
That's the instant pass from Papichema. Just like, nope, don't got anything in this deck that can deal with that. And ooh.
Just wanted to see if BBG would actually challenge the unit.
That's valid. Oh, sorry, Zinc. Sorry, we had to get it in there at some point. All right, so we have now Zeramis gonna be up next. Gonna take on Storm, who we saw take down Sujurkhan and Curious the top 16 and the top 8. So we'll see who's able to make it to the finals here. All right, looks like BBG did in fact take down Papichema, which means he's gonna get his shot at a second Duels of Runeterra victory. So awesome stuff to see on the side of BBG. So make sure you guys turn on that bell so that you see when the finals go up. But as always, everybody stay healthy, stay positive. I hope it just works for you, and peace out.